Buckle up, baby.
Punch it, I'm Jacob, and welcome back to another episode of That's Just Crait, where we talk about everything Crait about Star Wars. You know, Logan, you did a great job with the intro last time. I feel like, Hannah, you should go
wait,
next
didn't we
time.
agree on that?
You really
Yeah.
should have done it this time, but I think we did in the previous episode. Hannah, do you want to redo the intro?
You know, I'll just do it next time. I'm not prepared.
Okay, we'll make it.
Can't put me on the spot like that.
What's fun about... My bad. But what's fun about this episode, speaking of putting people on the spot, this episode was not supposed to have a guest. We were not supposed to have a guest. It was supposed to be another episode of me, Hannah, and Logan just talking together. And we hopped into our Discord server where we record everything. And our friend Brayden hopped into the podcast recording session right as we were about to start recording. And so he was about to leave, but we were like, Brayden, why don't you just stay and be the guest on the podcast for today? So, Brayden, thank you for joining us spontaneously on today's podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of the pod, and I can't wait to talk some Star Wars with you guys. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's going to be a very interesting podcast. Things might get a little heated in here.
We'll keep it respectful, though.
Because today, Logan is actually the one to blame if that happens, though. Because, Logan, I will let you announce what we're talking about today.
All right, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit.
I say that like they haven't seen the title of the episode already. But,
I'm pulling back the curtain a little bit. We are recording this on oh my God, is it Thursday?
Yeah.
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Yeah, so we're dropping this tomorrow. Usually we record on Sundays, but we just haven't been able to figure out a topic for the longest time. It is low-key, it's all of our faults. We've just not been on it this week. We've been really busy this week. That being said, though, we didn't decide until probably 5 minutes before recording right now, what we're going to talk about. And what we're talking about today is our Star Wars hot takes. So we're going to be going around talking about things, hopefully respectfully, maybe a little disrespectfully, playfully, salty, about the things in Star Wars that other people may not agree with, or at least other people in here. So I think it'll be really fun.
I'm gonna fight Brayden after Brayden.
It's really fun because Brayden is
going to get heated. It's going to become a WWE.
Yeah, we're bringing up the chairs and everything like that. Brayden is actually a debater.
I want a ladder.
He debates people on the regular. So this is gonna be really interesting to see.
I'm a little bit scared, actually.
No, there's no reason to be scared. I will hold back my punches. I promise.
That makes me even more fearful. Do we want to briefly talk about our little check-ins that we do every week? Because I feel like we don't have a lot to talk about this week.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't really have much of a check-in.
I don't think we have a ton because we've all been busy.
Well, that and
I guess really quick we can kind of do that.
All right, I'll do it real quick. I've watched maybe 3 episodes of The Bad Batch Season 2, and nothing really of note has happened besides Fee getting introduced. So that's fun. That's really all I have to say. I've been insanely Yellow Jackets pilled and Marvel pilled because of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, so I've just been distracted lately. But I promise I'll get back into it. Hopefully by next week I should have some more to say. That's all I got to say this week. Keeping it short.
I have also been Marvel distracted because of the Captain America movie and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So that's the only thing that's been on my brain 24/7. It's just Cap and Spidey.
Because they haven't dropped this Andor trailer yet.
Yeah.
I've been waiting.
That's crazy.
I know. When the Andor trailer drops, we will have stuff to talk about.
Yes, when Andor drops, we will be so seated.
Absolutely. I actually have so many episode ideas that I don't even think I've told you guys about yet for when around Andor season starts up again. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I feel like that's whenever we're really going to have a lot to talk about. We were talking about the occasional struggle of coming up with topics and ideas and the beauty of being spontaneous on the podcast. But when Andor drops,
we are unified.
We're not going to have that problem. I guarantee it.
I still haven't seen Andor.
What the?
Oh, I will
What?
next month. I promise. I've been doing Defenders watch throughs for Daredevil. I've been watching all the Defenders shows. So
we're eating so good lately.
Those are bangers.
I apologize.
You're gonna love it, Brayden. If I know you, which I do, I feel like
you do.
You are going
I
to.
will.
You haven't seen it.
You're really gonna enjoy it. But it's funny though, because I'm normally not a big Marvel comics person. So like Hannah, you and Logan talking about Cap and like Spider-Man and everything, normally I wouldn't have much to contribute, but honestly, I feel like last week I got so sucked into it. Like Captain America, I don't know where all of the hate is really coming from. I actually thought it was pretty okay. I had a great time with it. I had a really fun time. Granted, last week was not that great. So I think that... Listen, I think that, like, me also having a bad week and, like, seeing Captain America with my friend, like, in a packed theater, like, there was something about that just kind of made my week. It was, like, the highlight of last week for me. Yeah. So I think it kind of, like, elevated it a little bit. But I thought the movie was really fun. I had a great time with it. And people listening to the podcast that hate me are going to be like, oh, he's got another garbage opinion. But, like, I said what I said. I thought it was great.
Like, it wasn't...
In terms of...
I'll go. Real good. I was going to say, I love whenever you get interrupted, it's just silence. I was going to say, like, just real quick, I was like, I really like Captain America. Like, for me, it wasn't groundbreaking necessarily, but I was like, this is just a good new Marvel movie. You know, like, I always like just jumping back into that universe for a bit and then seeing, like, what they cook up, you know? So I thought it was pretty fun.
And I feel like the Marvel fan base has kind of gotten to the point where they criticize movies. Like, every single movie has to be, like, groundbreaking and something brand new and special and spectacular, when like it can just be a good enjoyable movie and doesn't have to be anything super duper original and special. Like, just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a fun little like reason to go out to the theater.
Well, on a Star Wars note, to go back to the thing that we talked.
Oh right, that's right.
This is the Marvel podcast.
But anyone listening is gonna be like, I thought this was a Star Wars podcast.
Welcome back to That's Just Xandar.
That's just
Xandar.
That's great.
No, but in terms of Star Wars, there's not much that I was really invested with aside from talking about it online with people last week. But I don't know if we've talked about this yet, and I know this was like a while ago, but I kind of want to talk about it now. The art for the badges for Star Wars Celebration
seeing those
look incredible. They all look amazing, and they actually just dropped, I believe, a few more like the last little bit. So they look amazing.
Like
I actually have
one
of them as my lock screen right now.
Like the ones that we saw of like the characters?
Yes, one of those.
Those are the badges? I thought they were just like posters.
I think you can. Maybe they are posters.
I thought they released two sets of art, right?
Yeah,
one was posters and one was badges.
They had a really good one of Sabine that I really liked.
Maybe. That one's really cool. I also like the one of Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar.
The one of the stranger.
That one was good. That was really good.
Yes.
Acolyte representation in the year of our Lord 2025 is amazing to me, and the little crumbs that we got were so good.
That's so sad though that we're now dealing with Acolyte crumbs not even a year after it's been released. It deserves so much more. That show was... I really had a great time with it.
It was a really good time in the fandom, to be honest. Like on Star Wars Twitter, it was very like uniting, at least in like our little cluster of people.
It also was
in our community. Yes.
It also was the second highest watched Disney Plus show of the year, which to me is nervous, not for just the Acolyte, but for Disney Plus, because if it wasn't good enough to get renewed for a season 2, that means that none of the other shows that came out were probably good enough to get a season 2. And like, unless they just had really low budgets, which to me doesn't speak well for Skeleton Crew. And I've been trying to think about that, but
not to interrupt, but like to interrupt. For me, Skeleton Crew is one of those shows that if they announced a second season, I would be like, "Oh, that's awesome! Like that's cool."
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I really loved Skeleton Crew a lot.
Yeah.
However, if it doesn't get a second season, I'm totally okay with that for Skeleton Crew. The problem is that I feel like the ending for the Acolyte
it's
absolutely
second season.
More stories.
Yeah, I hate that.
And like, regardless of how people feel about the show, it's one of those things that's like, it kind of needs that continuation. And I know that we're probably most likely going to get it in a comic book or a book, which I know there's already 2 Acolyte books coming out later this year, which I'm really excited to read. The problem is that I would love to see it in live action, and it now seems like we're not.
It would
going
be
to
a
get
really
it
good compromise,
really disappointing,
or something like that. Animated like Tales series of like continuing the Acolyte story.
I was about that's
3 episodes is all I
That
need.
could be cool.
Like just
we were on the same wavelength because that's exactly what I was going to suggest. Like,
I would actually love
actually
to see animated High Republic stuff. I think that'd be so cool.
I would love
Besides,
for them
like,
to
Young Jedi
do.
Adventures.
I would love them to do the 6-episode format, but just have it be one storyline as just a sequel to the Acolyte.
Yeah, that would be cool. I also hate it.
We're agreeing too much right now.
I think so too.
For the actors,
this is hot
though,
takes.
I think seeing Manny and Amandla further in the story would be really cool.
Yeah.
But
I was about to say
agree.
Lee Jung Jae, but I kind of
If
forgot
anything, the
about,
cast deserves so much more. But
I said I was about to mention like Lee Jung Jae also needs to come back for season 2, but then I kind of forgot that he.
Yeah, he's not gonna come back.
Yeah, he's taking a nap. All right, well, pouring out for the Acolyte. Do we want to get into it?
Pouring one out for the Soul Patrol, the Yord Horde, Jackie Jam, all of them.
You're in our hearts forever.
My Wi-Fi. I'm so
On a happier note.
Hi, Hannah. Welcome back.
My Wi-Fi is trash.
On a happier note.
All right. So.
I feel like I've tried to transition this.
I'm taking it away. It's my podcast now. Here's a hot take for you guys. I think.
Oh, we're just going into it. No introduction.
No, let's just do it. Let's just do
I'm
it.
Logan said, "Let's go."
Vamp a bit more because I kind of forgot what I was going to talk about. I think that this may not even be a hot take with like this particular group. So far, from like rewatching everything, I think that animated Star Wars is the best Star Wars. How do we feel about that? Is that lukewarm? I see some nods. Some shaking the head.
Disagree, but like it's not bad. There's nothing that's gonna beat a live action Star Wars movie for me. Yeah. That's my bread and butter.
It's weird because like I feel like animated Star Wars is like the everyday type of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like
but it's not grand.
Like
it's not grand. So it's
I don't know. I kind of disagree because I think that we've seen some like really big events happen in animated Star Wars Twitter that you wouldn't know about otherwise.
It's just
like the destruction of Kamino, which we've talked about so many times on this podcast.
Yeah, like
already.
There's really big things that happen in animation. That
I feel like the animated shows had space to expand even more on certain things than we would have ever gotten out of a movie or even a live action show. Like I feel like they have so much more time to just tell us like little smaller parts of a story.
Right.
Well, let's not forget that the whole reason why Darth Maul is so popular
was the revival.
Is because of the Clone Wars reviving his character.
That's a good point, I guess.
I think that they could never.
And like,
like there's certain things where it's like I just think that they wouldn't look good in live action. Like I think back to like the Mon Cala arc. You could not get away with that in live action, especially with like today's like sort of visual language of everything. Like,
is that season 4 Clone Wars?
Yeah, season 4, like the first arc of it. Like that would be the most gray green. I mean, and I don't even like that arc. You guys know me. I talked about it a bit. I do not rock with Mon Cala, but I don't think it could have existed in. I don't think it could have existed in live action.
You guys are crazy. Well, you guys are haters.
You like that arc?
Jacob, now is your time to defend it.
I thought it was like bland. I don't know.
It's kind of a lot of just people swimming around.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe that kind of comes into play. But like, I'll rewatch it. You know what? I will rewatch it,
and you'll fall asleep.
In the next episode, we will talk about it. You'll fall
asleep.
said I'll fall asleep.
I mean, it's not as bad as the droid one.
Whoa! Hey! Hang on! Whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Hang on.
Oh my gosh!
No, that one's real.
That might be the weakest arc in all of the.
Yes.
What the hell? That's like my third favorite.
Logan
it's so bland because it's.
I know it's George Lucas's favorite.
It's just the robot. Like I don't know. I just don't.
It's Meter Gascon. He is he's
funny.
He's a corporal or something, and then he's never actually been in battle before. He's only ever been a tactician, so he's never had the field experience. And then his whole thing is like coming to terms with the fact that he doesn't know how to lead, but like he doesn't want to do it alone. He doesn't want to admit his insecurities and stuff. And it's a really good arc with like really good character moments. And R2-D2's in it, and he does some like really cool stuff. And we get Gregor introduced for the first time, and also like the Void is a really cool planet. I don't care what you say. Having like, you know, a thing where there's like no sun or shadows or anything like that is such an interesting concept. And like,
I agree.
What did they do? Like they try to blow, like the droids try to blow up like the Venator by like sending a Venator with a bomb into it, so it's almost like Drive, like the movie. That's not the right movie. What's the one with the bus? Speed. That's what it is.
Oh,
Speed.
So it's like
I was so confused for a minute. I was like, wait, what movie
I will
is he-
defend the
is he
droid arc
referencing?
until I die. I'm a D-squatter till I die. No further questions.
Logan just gave us 2 hot takes, by the way,
I
in
got
case
you.
anyone was paying attention.
He did. My man said
So,
back to back.
Who's next?
I was going to kind of pop off for a minute, but truthfully, I think I'm going to pass the mic to you, Brayden, because unfortunately it hit me after we kind of like jumped into everything. We totally forgot to ask you if you've been engaging with Star Wars stuff in like the past week. And if so, what have you been engaging with or playing or watching or anything like that? We typically do a little catch up at the beginning of every episode. I'd feel bad if you were not a part of that.
Sorry, I just burped.
Oh, let's go. Brayden, for those of you that can't see it, he just held up a copy of Light of the Jedi, which is an absolutely
10 out of 10 book.
goated Star Wars book.
Let's say I got to chapter 17.
Oh, wow.
What happens?
Does anyone know?
Remind me.
well-
Think about that. Okay, so basically,
Yeah, you might have to
a
remind
week
me.
ago, I was like, oh, I'm on chapter 16. And like, it was like a joke because I couldn't get past that chapter. I finally read it, but now I'm stuck on chapter 17. I read this thing in a snail's pace. I've already had to take it out of my library twice.
Oh my god, you're borrowing
So,
it?
yeah. Well, so it's been like,
Wait, so like, is that a...
I've had it for 9 weeks.
Oh my
is
god.
it a- Oh my god,
I'm just hoarding
Brayden!
it.
You've been doing it longer than we've had this
The
Yeah,
gross
it takes
overdue
me forever
library
to get
fee is
through a
going to be
book,
like
too.
$700.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Yeah,
I've
but
been-
I've been
at
speed
some point.
reading.
I've been on
Oh.
Rising Storm for like a couple months
You just...
because I haven't touched it.
Rising Storm
It
is
is
so
really
good. That actually might be better than Light of the
Is
Jedi.
it the second
in all
novel?
honesty.
Yeah.
Like
second
they are
adult one.
neck and neck for me.
Is that
in
the
terms
next
of
thing
the
I'd have to
quality.
read if I was going to go in order?
Into the Dark if you're doing like all the stuff because that's like the first
I would
YA
be
novel.
theoretically.
Yeah, Into the Dark or
Well,
A Test of Courage.
technically,
Okay.
Dang.
yeah. I was gonna say, don't forget about A Test of Courage, because like I mentioned this in a review that I made a while ago, but like the middle grade High Republic books are, in terms of quality, still 100% there, and also even though they're definitely written for like a younger audience, they're very solid for the most part, and definitely build on certain characters and like the overarching story. So like, I definitely think that that's worth.
You know
checking
what? Screw
out.
it. I'm gonna.
So I would definitely read.
I'm gonna finish this book this weekend.
All of
I
those.
promise.
Ooh, can we get that in
I'm
writing?
gonna say it right now.
Yo,
By
let's go.
Sunday
That's-
night, I'm gonna finish it, and I'm gonna tell you guys my thoughts
Can you do it in
I'm
3
tired.
days?
Oh, I can do it.
It's
I can
so
do it
good.
too. I read. Okay, guys. I just read 146 pages for one of my college.
Oh, God.
I do not miss that.
Yeah.
That's
in-
too much
in-
reading.
I was like,
And
what
it
are we
wasn't
doing?
even
So I
about
can
Star
definitely do that.
Wars. Yeah.
It wasn't even about Star Wars. I can do Star Wars. You gotta be kidding me. I can do Star Wars. So I'm excited. I've made a personal goal for myself that I won't fulfill,
Yeah.
but I'll get really close.
There you
And
go.
that's all that matters.
Mhm.
No,
You can
you
do it.
got this, Brayden. I think you can do it.
I don't know.
You have to
Like, I
believe
want to
in
return it
yourself.
to my library. I got to get it finished by Saturday.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, there you
Also-
go.
Because I'm going home. So
Time crunch.
the weekend.
Nice.
All right.
But yeah.
Very cool. Very
All right.
cool.
Sorry. That's what I've been engaging with.
Also, Brayden, you made me realize. Oh, I'm sorry. You just made me realize I forgot to say something. I read Dooku Jedi
saw.
Lost and Padawan's Pride.
I thought Dooku.
and both of which were really
I thought
solid.
Dooku was an audio drama.
It is an audio drama. So I guess
Listen to it.
reading, and so is Padawan's Pride actually. So I guess it technically counts, but I'll say I listened to both.
Okay.
And I enjoyed both a ton. Like if you love the prequels, which with my hot take. We'll talk about the prequels in a minute. But, and that's not in a bad way. That's not in a bad way, actually. It's actually a compliment to the prequels, from what I'm going to say. And everybody might actually be in agreement. So, like, maybe it's not
Might not be a hot
that
take.
bad of a hot take, but we'll see. But if you're a fan of the prequels, you should definitely check out Dooku Jedi Lost. It is an excellent, excellent audio drama, and the production is just astounding. The production is 100% there. Padawan's Pride is a little bit shorter, but it's kind of a story that I've wanted for a while because it's about Anakin and Obi-Wan in between episodes 1 and 2. So it's like 3 years after The Phantom Menace.
Cool.
So it's a really cool, fun story. It's got a lot of pod racing in it. Because if you don't know the premise of the story, basically it's like the Jedi Council knows that like this thing is going on, and it involves pod racing. And so they need someone to go undercover to like this pod race. And so they're like, who else to pick but Anakin? So Obi-Wan and Anakin go in, and Anakin's like super excited about this mission. And Obi-Wan's a little bit apprehensive. 13? He's 3 years older than he was in Phantom Menace, so about 13.
Wait, okay, because I had never even considered that, right?
It's a really cool story.
Like, from an outsider's perspective, having Anakin Skywalker, like the first human to win the Boon to Eve Classic, win that race, and then all of a sudden he just vanishes off the face of the earth.
Right? Oh my god!
Like I never considered that. Like,
that's kind of brought up actually where the hell a little bit. And on top of that, they talk about other pod racers' reactions to that race too. Like, I don't want to give away too much, but like Ben Quadraneros is in the book.
What?
Mike Lopshido is in the book. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I missed that, man.
Sebulba is mentioned, but like there's a lot of cool like pod racing Easter eggs, and like the book the audio drama itself is just very well done. So if you have Audible, you can actually listen to it for free. I know I'm sounding like an ad right now, but it's very true. But you can listen to it for free on there,
code?
I think, or if you have like a membership, it's one of the two.
Forgot.
But either way, it's on Audible. I know that much for sure.
Do you have a promo code for us?
Yeah, give us the plug.
If you use code Lightspeed7, you get 7% off. No, I'm kidding. No, I do not have a promo code for Audible, but I would love to. Audible, if you're listening, I would love to talk about listening to Star Wars books on your platform, because I love Audible to listen to my audiobooks and stuff like that. So we'll see. Anyway, Brayden, I stole the mic from you. So you were saying about finishing Light of the Jedi?
Hopefully this week, well, like I was saying, hopefully this weekend, but obviously if I want to return it to my local library, which you should always get books from your local library if you can, it would probably have to be Saturday night. I'd probably have to finish it by. But we'll see. Probably won't happen. I'll probably do it next week, the week after. But I'll finish it soon, and then I'll move on to whatever. I don't know. I'm going to actually talk about it in the Discord. I'm going to be like, hey guys, what do you want me to look at next in Star Wars? And then I'll put it all in a document.
Plug the Discord right now.
You can join the Lightspeed Discord. Sometimes Jacob tweets it out. So, might also be in the description.
And link will be down in the description below.
So, it's a fun community. We have a lot of fun. And I'll be doing that from periodically whenever I'm finishing a Star Wars novel or something like that. So, yeah.
Can I shout out my cousin real quick?
Go ahead.
Sure, go
ahead. She doesn't even listen to this,
right.
but she's Snapchatting me right now, because I think I've mentioned this a couple episodes back maybe, but her boyfriend has sat her down and is like making her watch all of Star Wars.
Yes.
So they're watching more again tonight. I don't know what movie they're on, but she said they were watching it, and then her best friend is also over. She said that Star Wars has brought back her love for braiding, and she's been braiding her friend's hair in like a Padme style. And I was like, oh my god, no way, because I have in my indoor Leia braids right now.
Oh, fun.
That was just cool.
Yay.
Nice.
That's nice.
Guys.
Shout out Hannah's cousin.
The Empire Strikes Back is my least favorite of the original trilogy.
Interesting.
All right.
Start
All
with
that.
Logan,
what's your favorite?
You're crazy.
All right.
But that's it.
A New Hope.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back.
I mean,
interesting.
If you had to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think the middle of Return of the Jedi is worse than all of Empire Strikes Back.
Accurate.
But
Well, yeah.
beginning and end of it
Okay.
make it better than Empire Strikes Back, in my opinion. Especially the ending of it.
I don't love the beginning though. I mean, it's good. It's good. Don't get me,
I love
don't get me wrong.
beginning.
But it's
I think the
like
beginning is so
it
fun.
lasts a
beginning,
really
me
long
Too,
time.
you know.
It lasts a really long time to get to where you need to get to. And I love the what do they call it? The ships, that ship scene, you know, when they're all like fighting and then Boba
Yeah.
Fett, you know, falls in the Starlight. But like that scene takes a while to get to, I feel like, and I feel like the rest of the movie before then is just kind of dragging on and on. I love the Rancor fight. I don't really like most of what happens at Jabba's palace though.
I hear you. I respect your opinion.
See, I'm a
You're wrong.
Jabba's
You're
palace.
Jacob,
I love how we were saying the same thing at the same time. That was great. I love the Jabba's palace stuff. I love pulpy, fun Star Wars, and that is just the prime example of it for me. I love the sail barge, but I love all the stuff with the Rancor. I even love whenever it's just C-3PO and R2-D2 going into the palace, and I love the part wherever like C-3PO knocks.
oh
on,
yeah,
like,
he's
the
immediately
door,
like, oh, they're not home.
and
That
he
is
immediately
good.
just turns
That
like,
is
oh,
fun.
like no, oh, they're not home. I
Let's
guess
get
we'll
out of
just
here.
go. And then the camera comes
That's
out,
funny.
and the way that the camera pops out and C-3PO goes, oh goodness gracious me. There's something about the timing of that is
I
just
love 3PO.
so funny every single
Underrated.
time. I love it. He's so me. You know, every time I think about the Star Wars character that I would be,
3PO.
I would be like, oh, I want to be Han. I want to be like Boba Fett, someone cool. No, I'm
I think
100%
That's-
we all have
that's
a little bit of
great.
3PO in us, you know.
People say that I'm a lot like R2, so it
Oh,
works
I
out.
totally see that.
Yeah.
I think I have like
Nice.
I have
We're
like
dyad
slight
buds. Let's
BB-8
go.
energy. I think.
Mm.
Do you just like randomly like
Yeah, I fall
bounce up
downstairs
and down the walls?
Yeah,
I feel like
He somersaults.
I'd be rolling.
I feel like BB-8's got a lot of energy that he just has to get out, and like it just finds ways to do it.
He has way
He's
too much
always
sugar.
rolling around. Right, exactly.
Oh, see, I took it literally, Logan, to where I just imagine you somersaulting at different points.
You know, yeah.
Like you're like, oh, the BB-8, the spirit of BB-8 is
As
overtaking
a kid, I
me.
used
I
to.
have to somersault in the middle of this mall or Target or work.
Yeah, as a
whatever.
kid, I used to pretend to be a droidica. I used to roll
Oh my
around. Like
God.
that. I used
Oh my
to, I used to
gosh.
like do like my fingers like that to like be like the cannons and
Nice.
stuff, and then I would twirl
Would
from
you
the
get
ball
like a
and roll
shield
around.
generator and then like
A hula hoop.
everyone
I would
look
use
at
a
you and
hula
you
hoop
have
on the
a
playground. Yeah.
Oh,
a blue
okay.
hula
Yeah,
hoop.
there you go. There you go.
And
That's good.
Whenever I'd watch the scene in Phantom Menace where the droids are being like activated, I would stand up from my couch and then like, I'm like 3 when I'm doing this, by the way. Yeah, but I would do that. I would just like curl up in a little ball and like activate like a droid, and it was so like
You just brought back a memory
I was
that
so
I
whimsy.
did not know I had. But when I was in elementary school,
Oh,
my
no.
two best friends were guys, and we would always play Clone Wars on the playground. But I remember,
Nice.
I can't remember if it was on our school playground or what, but there was a tire.
Uh-oh.
Just
just like a
imagine
straight
where this
tire?
is going. Yeah. So
Oh no! It
One
did
of
they put you in the
them's-
tire?
no, one of them tried to get in it and wanted to
Uh-huh.
spin it so that they could be the Droidica.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I wanted to do that.
Did
Yeah,
it work out or?
No.
I'm gonna title this episode.
yeah. Title the episode "Hot Takes," and then we
I'm
get
gonna
distracted.
title this episode "Hot Takes." No, it's gonna be called "Hot Takes." Bring in those droidicas, and it's gonna have like the
Oh,
droidicas.
that's
like, rolling in
amazing.
front of
Alright.
me.
Oh, that's so good.
Back to that. I just wanted to
Perfect.
say,
I
I think, like, I'm gonna defend myself real quick. I think Empire Strikes Back is the best. I think
Well, you
it's.
can't think it's the best and then say it's not.
I think it's the least exciting. That's the thing.
yeah. Hold on, Logan.
Favorite list.
Yeah.
Bro's take is so hot. He's contradicting.
I think it's the
himself.
best. It's also my least favorite. Those are two facts that can exist in the same thing.
I don't
It's
know.
like how,
I've always felt that if you're gonna say something's your favorite, that also means you think it's the best.
No, I can acknowledge because
Not
like I think that
necessarily.
Spider like okay that's what I remember.
I don't know.
My thing was always that like Spider-Man 3 like the Sam Raimi one was my favorite one, but it's not the best. Like Spider-Man
Yeah.
2 is the best. That's how it feels with Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I can
No.
agree that it's the best, but I think it's not really exciting besides the Battle of Hoth. Don't get me wrong. Wait.
What?
There's an entire
I
lightsaber
fear,
fight.
I
that
fear
is
I have
on.
lost the
one of the
room
best.
No, I understand what you
Yeah,
mean.
you have.
Lo-
because how much of that
especially
movie
I
How
think
much of that movie
Empire-
is Han and Leia like flying away from the Empire and then like landing
Yep.
on Cloud City, and how much of that is
Yep.
Luke training on Dagobah?
See, because this
That's
movie
a
is
little
the most
boring.
fresh
Well,
in my
like-
mind because it's the one I've watched.
It's not
most
boring. It's
recently.
just not exciting.
I know what
But-
you mean, Logan.
Logan on one
The Luke Vader fight.
Logan on one hand,
That's good.
The Luke
The
Vader
Luke
fight
and
is
Vader's
good.
fight in Return of the Jedi.
But- Exactly.
the asteroid chase. The
What Return of the
No.
Jedi is better.
Yeah,
what?
Luke and Vader in Return of the
okay,
Jedi
so, like,
is
The
the
one
best
in
lightsaber
Empire
fight.
is kind of like a little bit happens and it stalled out, and then they're trying to find each other, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Ugh.
On one hand, I get how Logan is like Return of the Jedi is the one I prefer, but on the other hand, I can't not think about how Logan just got so many ops that are like 45-year-old men
No. We're still talking about
that
the
are
original
going to be
trilogy.
in the comments just blasting
It's okay.
him. But like,
We're still talking about
I
original
just like
trilogy. It doesn't matter.
I get it, but I don't. I get it,
I
but I
get
don't.
it.
I'll
The
put it that
scene
way.
where Luke, where Vader in Return of the Jedi, and I'm still saying this with Return of the Jedi being my second place because I think that A New Hope is better. And I used to, and again, when I did that marathon, at that point when I was in the theaters, A New Hope was at the bottom of my list. I hated A New Hope.
Oh my!
It wasn't until I saw, I know, it wasn't until I saw it in the theater that I was like, oh, I get it. And by the way, when I say hate, I just mean that like.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Alright.
I think all
I
Star Wars for
got
me,
you.
yeah. There's no Star Wars that I hate besides, besides Jacob. What is that?
What is that?
Oh, is that Snoke? Oh my God! Put his legs away.
It's the Supreme
All right,
Leader
stop
Snoke.
distracting me.
Sorry.
Wow, I don't even know what I'm saying. Thanks, Jacob.
You hate something. You hate something in Star
Oh
Wars.
yeah, the only Star Wars
For
that I
those of
hate
you that-
is like the Clone Wars movie, and I don't even like hate that.
Yeah,
just like I won't be
no,
happy if
that's
someone puts
fair.
it on.
He-
So
I don't really like it at all. Yeah.
that being said, Return of the Jedi, like Luke and Vader fighting, the scene where Vader threatens to take Leia, and Luke is like, never, and then he's like fighting him. The music in that scene,
Ah.
the cinematography of it, like moving from like the shadows into the light,
Yes.
chopping his arm off, that entire like scene from like till like the rest of the movie is enough. Like for me, better, not a whole lot better, but better than Empire Strikes Back.
I agree. I agree.
Because I think there's
agree.
so much emotion in that. There's so much like storytelling in like just like the music and again like just everything about that scene. Like overpowering Vader, like giving into it, like that was some of the best Star. I think that might be my favorite moment in all of Star Wars. And I don't even rock with Return of the Jedi that much.
See, I feel like I'm biased, but I 100% agree with you because Return of the Jedi is my favorite movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I
oh.
get it. But
Okay,
also,
I'm being outnumbered here.
Yeah.
I can see.
all right, is it not your
All right,
favorite,
it's
Brayden?
fun. Oh no.
He's
I
obviously
soured
not.
on this movie. I soured.
He said that so
I s-
confidently. He was like,
I
no.
soured on this movie a little bit. I did an original trilogy watch through maybe maybe a year ago. I soured on 6 a lot.
Oof.
It's still good. I'd probably give it 3 stars, 3.5 out of 5.
I was
something
about
like
to say it. If it was out of
But-
10, that would have been criminal.
No, not out of 10. Not out of 10. I'm thinking like Letterbox. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of 10 is
Probably
crazy.
3.5, I would say, but it's definitely bordering 3. It's really like a decent movie. It's just very like 80s inspired, and I love that, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars in the same way that 5 and 4 do, I guess, to me. It feels like a different tone. But I still like it. I have my fun. I love the Emperor's theme. When you said that, I realized why you like that fight more than Empire.
Bell Boots
And I was like,
Skywalker.
I get it.
Yeah. Dude.
So I get it. I still like Empire's fight a lot more,
I cannot
but I
wait to get
get
to
it
Return
now.
of the Jedi in my watch through. That's gonna feel so rewarding.
yeah.
Dude, after everything you've already seen, like absolutely. I will say I agree 100% on the score. The one part that you were talking about specifically where he's like no and like goes to like fight him, like the operatics, I think that's the word in that
Yeah.
scene, like whenever you have just like mainly the singing and everything's like building up, that one portion of the piece is just so
That is
good.
good.
Oh, it's so phenomenal. Return of the Jedi is a banger. I don't want anybody to listen to this and be like, oh, they're dissing the original trilogy. I think I speak for everyone when I say that all of us
Absolutely.
love those
Yeah.
movies.
When I
Like,
say that, like
yes.
Empire Strikes Back is
Or
my
at the very
least favorite.
least, really appreciate them.
Yeah.
So, like,
When I say Empire Strikes Back is like my least favorite of the original trilogy, like if this was like a 10-star system, like a 10-point system, they are maybe like 0.25 away from each other at any given point, and like they'll switch rapidly. Check in with me in like a month, and it's gonna be totally different.
I don't know if they're all that close for me at all, but I get what you're saying.
So if I may, because I feel like this is a perfect segue. I don't want to transition this too early. However, I think that this is a really good segue. My hot take is about the prequels. And as much as I love these movies, I genuinely love all of the prequels so much. I watched like 2 weekends ago, I watched all of them twice each. I was just so locked into rewatching them and kind of like living through like that era again. Mm-hmm. As much as I love those movies, just hear me out on this one, okay? I'm not counting Clone Wars. Like, I'm putting Clone Wars aside because I know it builds on that trilogy and stuff. If you look at just the movies, all 3 trilogies, I feel like narratively and like in terms of execution, I feel like the prequels are the weakest ones.
What?
However,
I thought you were
going however, wait, I'm not done. Before you jump me, everybody went dead silent. That freaked me out. I did not like that at all.
We're waiting to jump on you. We're waiting.
We're waiting for the signal.
All right. However, thematically, I think they are the most interesting and the most cohesive Star Wars trilogy of all 3.
Okay.
I think the prequels are by far the most cohesive movies thematically and in terms of,
but they're the worst
visuals.
How?
I feel like the visuals, whether you
the visuals,
I think they're worse in terms of execution.
The visuals.
Narrative was probably like.
Not gonna lie.
You think the prequels has the best visuals?
Hey guys.
Wait, what? What?
I'm confused. How the execution is bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna say something real quick. I'm gonna say something real quick to try to defend Jacob because I actually think I agree, but I actually kind of don't agree.
Let's go! I'm not alone. Always 2 there are.
Jacob.
I'm gonna get jumped because I actually agree with part of Jacob, but I don't agree with part of Jacob, but it's just gonna get me jumped. I think that they are the weakest in terms of narrative structure. I think they are not the most cohesive. That is the original trilogy. And I think that thematically they are good, but they're not great. And I still think the original trilogy has them beat. I think the original trilogy excels in every single aspect compared to the other 2 trilogies.
When you look at them like politically though,
that's what I'm thinking about it politically.
They are the most political. They are the most political Star Wars movies.
I think they excel in like the overarching like timeline events of Star Wars. I think that like the prequels excel at that just because it's so complicated and trying to disregard Clone Wars in that. Yeah,
it's kind of impossible.
It's hard to think of it.
You gotta try to though, because it's not the prequel. My friends always do this because I'm always like, guys, what about the Clone Wars? And they're like, well, it's not the prequel movies. Right. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's like clearly right there. But it's like, no, they're not the 3 movies that came out.
You can't like. It builds on it so well that it's almost impossible in today's landscape to put the Clone Wars out of the conversation when discussing those 3 movies because that series built on those movies so well. Part of the reason why the prequels are so beloved today and so iconic today is partially due to the Clone Wars keeping Star Wars alive for the better part of a decade.
That is true.
Almost single-handedly.
Movies, and the only thing it did was build on the prequels, which were controversial at the time, you know? So I will admit, it is very hard to put them out of the conversation, and virtually is impossible to put them out of the conversation when discussing that trilogy today. In terms of visuals, whether you think the visuals in CGI still holds up or not, just wait. Whether you think that... Sorry, I'm like locked into this right now. It's not against you, Logan. Love you, DB. But it's one of those things that like whether you think the CGI holds up or not, part of what makes those movies so profound in the landscape of film is that George Lucas tried to push so many technological boundaries and push a lot of technological boundaries
Right,
with those
but
movies.
did it work?
You know? So even if the visuals aren't great in some respects, I would argue that a lot of the time they do hold up. And I also think that it creates a consistency within the trilogy of the digital environments mixed with the practical environments. Because there were more practical effects built for the prequels than the original trilogy as well.
Can I mention something?
Yeah.
Or wait, was Logan about to say something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hannah, go for
Because
it.
wasn't The Phantom Menace the last one shot on film?
Yes.
Yes.
I hate the updated version of it because it takes the character away from the film version. Because the film version looks really good, even with the
Film version is
CGI stuff that
incredible.
they tried, but it's so good. But I think when they tried to like update it and made it look a little bit more like the others, it doesn't look as great anymore.
I will agree.
Never saw the
and
film
also,
version.
like, if you
missing out.
there's a video online that compares like a film scanned version of the Phantom Menace, like a 35mm scan, to the digital most updated version, and the film version, like the colors are so much more vibrant, and on top of that,
green in it.
the CG blends so much better with the real environments and practical sets and stuff. Like, it's amazing. Like, it's genuinely like you watch that version of the movie or see those clips and you're like, okay, I see why people in 1999 said that this like looked phenomenal and like looked like amazing.
That's why I feel like when people flame the
boundaries.
CGI, they forget the time period it came out in.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, for Phantom Menace. I will talk so much crap about Attack of the Clones, though.
Yeah, that's
Like,
valid.
Because I need to know. Yeah, Jacob, I think you're forgetting that Attack of the Clones is there.
Even hotter of a take.
What?
No, I'm not, because Attack of the Clones might be my favorite of the prequels.
No, this is
What?
such a bad
What?
take. It's such...
Okay,
Please
Jacob.
tell
Jacob,
me you're joking.
Jacob.
You guys didn't know
Jacob.
that? I've talked about this for a
Jacob.
while.
He's being dead
I think
serious.
politically
You're being
it
dead
is
serious.
so
I know that you
ridiculously
like
based.
it, but I didn't think it was your favorite.
Attack of the Clones is my second to least favorite Star Wars movie, but my God, is it so based? Like that.
I
Movie
wish
is
I
so
could see the
What are
face
these-
that Logan
Your
just made.
second to least favorite Star Wars movie, and then you still say that it's the best,
I wish
because
we
that's
had
literally
video.
not how the ranking goes. You can't have a movie be the second.
What is going...
Okay, I'm gonna
My
crash
brain
out.
hurts.
Jacob,
Please do.
you were saying that you think.
We can never have an episode like
I
this
think this is
again.
incredible. Again, I'm doing all this. Like, I'm talking smack, but I love all these movies. Like, if anybody else talks smack about them, I will. But, like, it's my turn.
Yep.
What do you mean that, like, the prequels are the most, like, visually consistent? Like, I feel like there's such a jarring difference between each of the three of them.
Yeah.
Like, Phantom Menace has
The
so
third
much
one looks the
practical.
best.
I don't.
Mo,
I don't
my hot
see
take
it.
is that episode 1 looks the best, because you actually had, like, sets in that movie. Like, everything.
It doesn't look
in-
the worst, but episode
Attack
3
of the-
looks the best compared to now, I'd say.
I
I
think
think
1
Attack of
and
the Clones
3
has
are
really good
distinctly
moments.
good, and then there's
Yeah.
just
Because, like,
Yeah.
I think episode 3
That's
has
fair.
the best blend, like, has the best CG environments, and episode 1 has the best practical environments, and then episode 2 is just.
Episode 3 doesn't even feel like a prequel movie. It feels like a different style. 1 and
Yeah.
2 feel like fun, campy family adventure, and then there's the PG-13 movie, which obviously that doesn't, mean anything now. But back
But,
in the
like,
day,
it had to be
used to
that.
feel
you know?
like something. It was
need
like,
to
oh,
know-
PG-13 Star Wars movie. Ooh.
Jacob, I need to know what you mean by saying that. You said Attack of the Clones is your second least favorite Star Wars movie,
yeah. What do you mean by that?
but it's your favorite of the
But I'll
prequels.
defend it. I will defend it until the
You
day
said
I
it's your
die.
favorite of the
And on
prequels.
top of that,
You said it was your favorite, but you said it was
And
your
it's
second least favorite.
Which means that there's
It
one
is-
more below it.
all right, wait. Let me clarify.
Yeah, because
Revenge of the Sith is probably unequivocally the best of the prequels by far, okay? And I might even agree with that. However, my personal favorite is tied between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. I love both of those movies
That's
so
crazy
much.
to me.
But okay,
Like, genuinely.
I'm so dumbfounded.
this is what we came
What do
to the
you mean?
favorite and the best
What
thing.
do you
Like,
mean
what?
that there's one below, but it's your second?
Phantom Menace, yeah.
But you said that it's your favorite.
Where's
Phantom Menace is the
Where's
one
Revenge
below.
of the Sith on your list?
Revenge of the Sith is above Return of
So
the
there's
Jedi.
multiple movies in between, but yet somehow they're tied.
if I'm comparing
Jacob.
just those two movies,
We gotta lock you
But there's
up.
so
I'm
many
sorry.
movies in between. There's so
It's
so
not
many
your
movies in
favorite.
between.
we cannot publish this episode. I feel like I'm getting beat up right.
Oh my god, I'm
So
having the time of my life.
confused. I'm so confused.
My brain wheels
Maybe
are turning.
this should be a bye week.
Maybe this should be a bye week. Don't run from it.
Maybe we talked about it. We talked about not making an episode this week.
No,
and just
You
doing
talked
it
about
next
it.
week.
All right, guys,
All right,
Last Jedi.
There we go with the finger pointed again.
Oh my god.
I'm about to make Jacob
Interesting.
crash out with my hot take.
My hot take is that Phantom Menace is the best of the prequels.
Oh God.
Whoa,
Oh, no.
Logan, you've got like 50
I can see it.
takes,
I respect
Because y'all aren't providing.
It just keeps going on and on
Well, I
about
have a-
different ones.
I have a couple that I could
Go ahead.
mention.
Go ahead.
Two of them go hand in hand, and then one of them I mentioned before we started recording. Should I say the one? Which one should I do? The one that's gonna make Jacob crash out, or my other one?
Let's do
Please do
The
the other
correct
one.
one
Please do the other
last.
one.
I'll
I
do
don't
the other
wanna-
one because
last.
we can kind of change the subject a little bit. This
Sweet,
might be
sweet.
shocking
Thank you.
to
Hannah.
most people that I am mutuals with and friends with. But as much as I love Ahsoka and I enjoyed the Ahsoka show,
Uh-oh.
I don't think we should have gotten A, Ahsoka titled show, B, have it be live action. I think we should have gotten a true Rebels sequel and have it
Okay.
be animated. And then to go hand in hand with that, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about Sabine being a Jedi.
Whoa!
Ooh,
Alrighty.
Whoa.
I haven't really watched it, so
Unpack
I don't
that.
really know
Okay.
fully
I
the
will-
context. So I'm gonna bow out a little bit here.
I will agree with you thinking that it shouldn't be live action. I can totally. I would have given anything for like a full-fledged Rebel sequel.
Yeah.
I
Just
I
just
think
do
I
a season
agree.
5.
yeah,
You know?
might as well do a season 5.
Don't make it a
That's
sequel series. Just do
What
season
I
5.
thought we were going to get, because I thought something like that was in the talks for a while.
I remember
and
that
then
for a
It
while.
was. It was.
Ahsoka
It became
show
Ahsoka.
happened.
It became Ahsoka.
Which, like, I love
Theoretically.
Ahsoka. Like, obviously, she's my favorite character. I have a whole freaking Ahsoka shrine over there. But I just don't really see the need for her to have her own character-led show. I feel like we have so much Ahsoka content.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a weird thing because I totally get it, and for the most part, I agree. Like, for me, right? I do think Ahsoka is a little saturated in today's.
Because it's Dave Filoni's baby.
cool.
He can't let her die.
Yeah, I definitely think that. But at the same time, I love what we got from Ahsoka.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
I think that, like,
really
everything, like,
enjoyed.
the
I'm
narrative,
with you, Logan.
Yeah.
and I don't know how much I would have. I don't know how much I would have liked, at least like Peridia. It's weird because I don't know if we could have gotten the same story and made it in a. You know,
Yeah,
it's weird.
that is true.
Yeah.
I just feel like if it was going to
yeah,
be
sure.
an Ahsoka show, it should focus a little bit more on her because, like, yeah, we follow her around, but it's really her
not her
going
plot.
around and, yeah, doing stuff in other people's stories. Like, it's
That
just.
supposed to- I
makes total
haven't-
sense.
See,
I haven't fully watched it, but
that's-
like, isn't it basically just like Thrones Coming, the show?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Okay,
and it's
so
great.
like
It's a lot of
sort
fun.
of, but like,
it is.
see what Hannah said though about like how it's not really her plot, or I think Logan, you might have said that. That's what I like about it, because like all of the character stuff
Here
is
we go. No, I'm
specifically
kidding.
tied to her, and it does tie with like the themes of
Yeah.
like the show. But like I kind of like how it feels like a Rebels sequel, but at its core, it's
Yeah.
still about Ahsoka. Because I know that you really like
Right.
that show too. Because we've talked about it countless times and just
I just
gushed
wish
over
it would
how much we loved it. So
it would
it's like,
dive more into like Ahsoka's personal battles and like her inner psyche. And I feel like we just see an outwardly view of her for the most part.
Yeah. But hopefully in season 2 we got.
Yeah.
Because I just remember for the I'm stuttering so hard. I remember for a lot of it in season 1, whenever I would get stuff with the Ghost Crew, I would just want more of the Ghost Crew.
Yeah.
Like when they were on Peridia and like Sabine and Ezra chatting it up and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
Ahsoka comes back. I think I remember being like, "Aw," like
Yes.
let them have their moments more. But like I don't dislike the series at all. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it either, but that's
Yeah.
just my hot take.
Interesting about Sabine, though. Interesting about Sabine.
Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings. Like, at first I was like, why? But then once we got a little bit more into it, I was like, okay, I understand. And like, I kind of see it as her way of trying to connect with Ezra and like get him back.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I still,
Mhm.
I can't really quite decide where I stand on
Is it a thing where it's like you don't like the fact that it is, or you don't like how it's done? Because I could totally see it like being like, oh, I don't like how it was done, like or executed and stuff. Because like a lot of that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it was kind of like I feel like there should have been a little bit more build up, and it also just felt a little disconnected with me because I think a lot of people were bringing up the scene from Rebels where she was training with the Darksaber with
I was
Kanan,
gonna bring that up.
and
Yeah.
I think that was really great, but we didn't really see anything like that happen in the show.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Uh-huh. It's a good one. Jacob, do you have
is.
any thoughts on that?
Do I have thoughts on this? I don't know, actually. I guess I would argue that the show does do stuff with like her inner psyche through like all the stuff with Anakin and like
Yeah,
the brief flashbacks
that's
we see
true.
Yeah,
from between
that's
like the
a
world
good
between
point.
worlds with like Teth and like all of that. So I do feel like the show at its core, like I said, is still about her. But I also like how the show does kind of continue being a Rebel sequel through her. I don't know. I really like that Ahsoka show a lot. It's only kind of like grown on me with time, you know. As a matter of fact, I was actually thinking about rewatching it.
Oh, yeah.
so-
Oh, I would love
Me
to, but I
too.
can't.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
And I mean,
It's
I'm
so good.
excited
It's
for
really,
the next
really good in my
one.
opinion.
But
Like,
I don't know.
Ugh.
I'm
It's
still
just-
like slightly in awe that Logan jumped at me for Attack of the
'Cause
Clones.
what do you
I can't
mean?
lie. I did not.
Visually.
I didn't expect that level of vitriol
Oh
for
my
Attack of
God.
the Clones.
and again, remember what I was saying though? That's the
I
thing. Is
thought
that
we were. I thought we
the
were in
thing. The thing
agreement.
is so funny.
You were my brother, Logan. I trusted
The
you.
thing I love though is like whenever someone's like, "Attack of the Clones is my favorite," and I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude!" Like when it's Jacob's, I'm like,
Right? That's what I'm saying.
"Can I?"
Brooke mentioned. Shout
Can
out to
I?
Brooke. It's her favorite.
And I feel like I'm like hogging this mic, but I remembered that there was one that I talked to you guys about, and it's really, really interesting for me. And I think it's like not even like a hot take, but I think it's worth discussion. Is I, as talented as he is, and I know that he's incredibly talented, and his achievements in the Star Wars like world are immense, and he deserves all the praise and stuff. Now, stay with me.
Uh-oh.
D.
no.
Bradley Baker as the clones. I know.
Logan.
I'm gonna say it.
Logan.
Oh no.
I know
Not
what
my
you're about to
favorite.
say.
Logan.
Not my favorite. When I was on
That's
Star
the
Tours,
iconic voice, though.
I know, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And here's why. Right?
I get the argument.
Yes.
Hannah, it sounds like you've
I
heard
have.
this
I've
one
talked
before.
about it before. I'm
But I
pretty sure.
understand. This is a big argument on clone Twitter.
Yes.
Clone Twitter, that's a thing.
No,
Yeah.
dude, do not. Do not mess with clone Twitter. Do not mess with clone Twitter. Do not
I'm
mess
sorry.
with
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you say anything bad about Thrawn, oh, they're coming at you.
I will not be.
On Star Tours at Disneyland.
Wait, why would clone Twitter be jumping for
Well, I'm just saying
Thrawn?
like Thrawn Twitter as well as clone Twitter. Those are like the two things that you
Yeah.
should not like, dip your toes in.
Okay. Shout out to Thrawn Twitter
love
and
y'all.
Clone Twitter. For the record, I like Thrawn and the clones,
There you
so I want to be on y'all's good side.
okay. Oh, that's really cool. Wow. Oh, there he is.
Hannah's showing a picture of
D.
her
Bradley Baker.
meeting
Very
D.
cool.
Bradley Baker.
It's
He's
the
an
whole
incredible voice
Clone Wars
actor.
crew.
I don't want that to seem like I'm not like I think he's like incredible and like doing like the Bad Batch and stuff all by himself basically with Michelle Ang is like incredible.
Yes.
I was on Star Tours a few years ago, and it was Geonosis came up, and you're flying through Geonosis and for some reason the Death Star, and you're being chased by Boba Fett, and all of a sudden he comes on like the little screens and stuff, and it's D. Bradley Baker talking, And in my mind, I'm like, that is just the
Oh,
clones. And if you're going to Galaxy's Edge and you're meeting
Yeah.
Boba Fett, he's being voiced by D. Bradley Baker, right? If you're playing Battlefront 2, 2017, and you're playing as the clones, you're hearing D. Bradley Baker.
Yeah.
Now, when you're playing Battlefront 2
everywhere.
and you're playing as Boba Fett, you're hearing Tamora Morrison. And when you're playing as the clone officer in Battlefront 2, you're also seeing Tamora Morrison's face, right? And I think a big thing for me is just that he doesn't sound like Tamora Morrison.
The accent is also a little off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an Australian accent when Tamora Morrison's voice is like Maori or like New Zealander. Like that's the closest thing that you're gonna get to like that region.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a weird thing because, you know, I love live action clones and I love Tamora Morrison so much. Like Jango Fett, Attack of the Clones, Chef's Kiss. Tamora Morrison in that movie is incredible. I just love hearing him speak, you know?
Yeah.
And when he's the clones in Revenge of the Sith and like in Attack of the Clones as well, like whenever I'm hearing just the clone voice like through the modulator and it's Tamora Morrison's voice, I get so happy. And when they showed up in Ahsoka in Shadow Warrior, I was also incredibly happy for them.
Yeah.
I just wish that more, I don't know, I think like more recognition is given to Tamora Morrison.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, or it's like I wish that there was some sort of like closer bridge between the two voices, because I feel like I just don't like when I'm playing Fallen Order and stuff, and like all the video games, it's always D. Bradley Baker, and it's like it makes so much sense because he's just always there, and he's like an incredible voice. He'll just he's very versatile. But
I get what you're saying though, because even when I was a kid, the clones in Clone Wars always felt so distinctly different to me from the live action clones that we saw.
Yeah,
because not only do they sound a little bit different, but they visually look different.
They look incredible.
And I think it's one of those things that is hard because it's not like they can really go back and fix that, but it was something that like it should have been approached in a different way, I think.
Yeah.
Do they not have Morrison's likeness?
In my opinion, no. It's a thing that's like really like, widely debated.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I'm sure that they like could make his like, because if you look at because a big thing, and like, and I'm gonna approach this like a bit more like cautiously now, instead of like rambling hot take. A big thing is like the whitewashing of like Maori characters and stuff. Like whenever I see like backgrounds and stuff of like Omega, have you seen those, Jacob?
Oh
like,
my gosh.
They're really, really white. And it's like kind of like there's like that book cover of like or something like that of Omega, and I'm like, what are you doing? And like when you see like a character like I think it's Captain Typho, he's in the Clone Wars too, and he looks almost exactly like his actual actor like in Attack of the Clones. And so it's like, it can be done. So it's like it makes you like wonder, and I'm not like pointing any names or anything like that, and trying to like start up this whole conspiracy. Yeah. But it's like, why wasn't it like more distinctly Tamora Morrison's likeness and stuff? And
exactly.
Like the good thing is like his face has morphed over the years, like through later seasons of the Clone Wars into the Bad Batch and stuff. But in like Tales of the Jedi, like imagine if we got like a proper like Reese, because we had like Samuel L. Jackson, his face got updated in Mace Windu. What am I saying? His Mace Windu's face got updated in just straight up Samuel L. Jackson.
I was like,
Samuel L. Jackson verse.
Yeah, Mace Windu's face got like updated in Tales of the Jedi, and it looks incredible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it looks so incredible compared to the Clone Wars.
I look at it right now.
So I think I would love if we got like an updated clone face that looks a bit more like Tamora Morrison. I think that's like my hot take.
Well, and some of my favorite clone content is the fan art, because the fan artists draw them with Tamora's face.
Yeah.
Logan has also done this.
Yeah, it's something I think about, because I would always I would look up like mods in like Battlefront 2 where they would like replace the clone lines with Tamora Morrison's voice. And he's such a good voice for like soldiers and stuff. And when you play like the original Battlefront 2 campaign from like 2005, and like it was narrated by a person, and all of a sudden voiced by like an American dude for whatever reason in like Battlefront 2. Do you guys remember that for some reason?
I do.
Like, what was up with that?
I never played that game.
Whoa! Oh my god!
Like the first Battlefront 2?
Yes, we need to
No,
stop that. Wait,
it was
pause. Wait.
It was before my
God.
time. It was
Those
before
games-
my time.
Like you weren't
Those
born
games
yet,
were
or
my
like?
childhood.
Yeah, I wasn't born
Oh
yet.
my god! Oh god!
What?
I think, right?
Oh man.
But well, no, hold on. Let me look up the release date. I might have been alive, but
think it was
I mean,
like-
I was like,
It was
It was
2005.
2005 or 2006.
I
one of
played
those.
them-
yeah, but like,
A few years later, but we had them.
Yeah, I think it was. I think
No,
it might have
I
been
was
the first
alive.
video game I ever
Guys,
played.
guys, I was 6 months old. Okay, I
Oh,
could have played it.
Yeah,
I just
jump on
chose
that
not to.
PlayStation. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I got to
Sorry.
say about that. I don't know if it's a hot take,
man.
but I would love more Tamora Morrison in Star Wars. Is
I
basically
agree.
what I'm saying.
So far, I've agreed with all of Logan's hot takes.
Crazy.
Logan, I get the argument, especially in terms of like the different
Mhm.
voice actors, and like I can understand how that can be like frustrating. I'm gonna say this as kind as I can. I don't mean it as like a diss, but it might come across as like a diss. Personally, I do not care. However, to the people that do care, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. You know what I mean? Because I understand what it's like whenever you're watching a show and the voice actors like switch, like one person leaves and another person comes in, and you can kind of tell a difference. Like it sometimes it's more noticeable than others. And I'm thinking about like cartoons and stuff that I grew up watching, but like in terms of Star Wars specifically, I've never had that issue really bother me. But to the people that it does bother, I can see why. Like, I don't want it to come across like, oh, Jacob just doesn't get it. Like, I can see why. In terms of like the whitewashing and stuff, though, that is very much a larger problem and is indicative of a much larger problem within the state of the world today, which is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah.
As we all know.
I was thinking Matt Lanter's a bit weird of a choice for Anakin Skywalker. I just had to throw that up.
Yeah.
He's
Okay. I think we're done. I think that we're like on the cusp of being done with the discussion
Although-
of hot takes.
That was just one
And then
thing.
Logan's like, I got 8 more
He's
left
my
in
boy
me. Hold on
because we
now.
went to the same college.
Brayden.
He's great. Wait, what?
Oh,
Yeah, he
That's
went
cool.
to. He went
Oh my
to
God.
UGA.
Whoa, cool.
Oh wow! Shout out UGA.
Georgia boy.
Uh,
No, he's also a big Georgia football fan.
Shout out UGA.
Big Georgia football fan.
There you go.
nice.
I was joking about Matt Lanter. I think he's
Boo.
actually great. In the earlier seasons of Clone Wars, he sounds a lot like Hayden Christensen, which I think is interesting. You should give it a
Oh, and
listen.
he kind of comes into his own
Yeah.
later.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like.
He kind of evolves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me play devil's advocate for a minute. I feel like that's kind of the beauty of voice acting.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
you can
for
take
sure.
a character
That's
that
true.
pre-exists and you can kind of make them
Yeah.
your own.
And then you become
Like
like, the
Dice
voice of the
Noodle.
character.
Yeah.
Inflections and stuff.
If I made
Yeah.
Jacob,
Somebody say something about size noodles.
My
Did
fault.
yeah, Logan did.
Yeah.
I just hear that? Oh, I was like, wait,
Dude,
what?
No, you
For a minute, I was
you
like, did I
hallucinated it.
hallucinate that?
You hallucinated it.
Yeah.
No.
Uh,
Brayden, do you have a
I was
Star
about to
Wars
say
hot
I
take?
have one, and obviously, I'll try to make it as quick as I can. But I had one. It was about Star Wars as a whole. It wasn't about a project or anything.
Ooh.
I think that Star Wars canon.
Okay.
I believe that they should never, and I mean ever, readapt a story. Meaning that if it's
okay.
covered,
Totally agree.
if it's covered in
100%
Oh,
agree.
I'm 100%
Yeah.
with you, yeah.
I'm not talking adaptations, obviously, those are different, although I don't think they should be treated as canon in the same way that the original is. So, like,
Wait, in,
the
like, what
comic
way?
adaptation of. So, the comic adaptation of Rise of
like,
Skywalker
yeah.
shouldn't. It shouldn't be canon. Like, I get that it's in canon, I guess, but it shouldn't be, like the canonical
novelizations.
story.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The canon story should be the movie.
my take with that is like I get that perspective, but for me there's a thing in Star Wars and people know it, and some people think that it's just kind of like whatever and they don't really mess with it. I kind of do, depending on the story. And it's the thing that Obi-Wan says, like, oh, what I told you was true.
Yeah,
from a
no, I
certain
hate
point
that.
of view.
It's such a cop-out.
And the certain point of view
It's
is kind
such
of
a
like
cop-out.
the cheap way to kind of be like, oh, it's not a cop
we
out, it's
forgot.
not a retcon,
This
like whatever.
comic, yeah.
I do get perspectives can be different. Like you have things happen in a book differently, and then it's adapted into a show a little bit different. I think that kind of combining both of those kind of things can work sometimes. In some cases, much better than others, like the Siege of Mandalore and stuff like that.
Right.
However, like in terms of like redoing a story, I'm 100% with you.
Yeah.
Like, they should never remake something just because people.
And I think
people that want.
With anything, like, it's so much more interesting whenever you build on something that people
that
don't
want
like, versus just like, oh, we're gonna scrap it.
I also just
people
feel
advocate
like
for a live action Clone Wars, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's-
what do you
unless
mean?
it's a different story.
Why?
Like it's literally a story that's already
Yeah,
told,
exactly.
and like you could like sure do that with like other things, like you know, like we have like the How to Train, like you know, remake and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
fine.
care about that.
Star Wars should never have two of the same thing.
Yeah,
Like
Right.
totally.
unless
They
it's
have
like a
done that,
mini
though.
recreation of a scene, like having in Clone Wars like a scene where it's like you know from the Siege of Mandalore at the end, like Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Yoda are talking, stuff like that, like little moments like that. Sure, like
Right. That's
adapt
fine.
those
Sure.
into
That's
a new
awesome.
thing. Like people were like, I remember there was a thing right when Clone Wars ended. It's like, would you like want a animated version of Revenge of the Sith? No, why would I want that?
Right?
No, we
already
have the live
it
action.
right
Yeah,
there.
like, literally have that. Yeah.
I also will say
And to build on what you just
Yeah.
said was like, you have like that one edit that includes like all of Revenge of the Sith,
Yeah.
like, all of the Clone Wars season 7 stuff, and like
Yeah.
the Bad Batch. And I feel like my friends and I watched it, and it's so
It
seamless.
is incredible, actually.
Like whenever you watch it, you don't even think about the animation to like live action transition because the story is just so
Right.
strong,
Yeah.
you know. So like I have no problem with that. That's why I feel like I have less of a problem with like the certain point of view stuff and more of a problem, which they've never done it ever with Star Wars, I don't think to my knowledge, but like redoing a story entirely from scratch.
if you're gonna do that,
especially like a live action movie, like that would never.
if you're gonna do that, you have
never.
to say that the original story is no longer canon. Like you have to
Yeah.
come out and say that. And, like if they're gonna redo, I don't even know. We'll pretend that they want to redo the Clone Wars movie because we all kind of agree that one isn't as good as any other movie.
Right.
If they were gonna say let's just completely redo it in live action, we'll say they have to be like the original is no longer canon.
yeah.
Because that way there's no confusion, and they can also have a better sandbox to mix stuff in and be like, we can change this because we don't have to deal with the canon of it anymore.
Yeah. I hope
So,
that they
like-
never do.
But even with that, I feel like you can't
Well,
do that.
I
don't-
do feel
Because
like
then it
I'm
opens up
saying
the can of worms of like
work to-
remake the
deeply
sequels and
embedded
stuff,
within
and
canon.
Right. Well, that's what it inevitably leads to. That's
Yeah.
why I said if they're going to do that, that's what they have to do.
right.
Regardless of what it is, regardless of what they end up doing.
I know.
I saw someone say on Twitter one time that they should reboot the original trilogy and just restart Star Wars. And I thought that
Absolutely
was
not.
really dumb.
No, that is
I thought
the
that was a
worst.
really dumb take.
I can't wait till 100
So-
years from now that we're still building on the original
way.
timeline. Like that.
Yes.
That's something I think about often. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
you know, we're having like the
Exactly.
Harry Potter reboot and stuff, and like
I
you
just
could,
don't like that.
like you could never remake Jurassic Park. You know,
No.
like you could never like
Yeah.
remake. Like you should never remake Star Wars. Like especially with all of this now. Like imagine if one day they just pulled the plug and then like 60 years from now they're like, we're gonna remake A New Hope. That might be the worst
that'd be
decision
ridiculous.
ever. I would come back from the
Disney-
grave
You're
You're
assuming
gonna
that I'm dead
remake
at
the
80.
whole reason that we
Yeah,
have
like-
the entire franchise.
I would come back from the dead at 80 years old and haunt whoever decides to do that. Like,
Yeah, you'll still be here at 80.
Yeah,
You'll
I
still
hope
be here
so.
and you'll have to suffer for it.
yeah. I'll be sat there day one. But yeah,
Yeah.
Star Wars is amazing. I love Star Wars. I feel like we dipped into like the negativity a little bit here in Playful Man.
Oh yeah.
We love Star
But
Wars
like
so
it was,
much.
it wasn't bad.
It's
though.
respectful It's respectful criticism.
Because at the end of the
For
day,
real.
we all know that like we're the biggest fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like even then, I don't even think it was criticism. I think it was just
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
discussion.
It was like a
Asking
warning.
questions.
I don't think
Yeah.
that anything was really
We were
necessarily
warning.
inherently negative or.
We were
anything like
warning the
that.
Lucasfilm Story Group not to do.
Yeah, we said do not touch it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't.
So
Don't touch A New Hope in the original
Yeah.
trilogy.
don't
Don't
touch.
restart anything. And we'll
Don't
be
touch
A-okay,
any
you know?
movie that isn't called the Clone Wars movie from 2008.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Only
That's the only
touch
one
that
that can be.
The only one. We'll allow it.
And only
Hold on though.
do the entire
I still
thing.
think that we
Do the
shouldn't
entire
touch that
thing, but
one.
like
I agree.
reanimate all the scenes with Rod of the Hutt and add an extra 30 minutes, and then it'll be.
And just make it Jeremy Allen White.
No live
Yep.
action Jeremy
Yeah.
Allen White.
I
just
need
shows
Hannah.
up. I like how Brayden and I said that.
I
at the
agree
same
that
time.
they
was
shouldn't
great.
rewrite it. I'm just saying that if they were to, I wouldn't go on and start like every other movie. I'd be
Yeah.
like, don't do this.
Yeah.
With Clone Wars, I'd be like, all right, whatever, man. If that's really
if
what
you
want
gotta
to
do it, you
whatever.
gotta do it.
Yeah.
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 I gotcha. Well, this was
It
a fun
was.
discussion, I think.
It was.
Like you said, Logan, like, I don't even think we dipped our toes into negativity.
Yeah, not
Because
really.
to be inherently negative, you have to kind of be hating on
To have
something
hate in your
like we
heart.
didn't
Yeah.
That's
really
why I
do that,
strayed
you
away
know?
from my
This is
other
called
hot
aggressive
take.
negotiations.
Ooh. Just
Oh.
drop it real quick, and we won't even
Oh, no.
discuss it.
No. Oh, boy, we've run out of time. Would you look at that? Apologies to Hannah's hot take and special guest star Rod of the Hut. We're
Yeah,
out of
okay.
time.
Stay with me. My lips are
But to the guest star that was able to make it onto the podcast today, Brayden, thank you so much for spontaneously hopping in.
Anytime.
and,
Anytime.
joining us on this discussion.
Anytime.
And for being the second guest on the podcast. You get to be in the thumbnail tomorrow.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Oh.
Or I
Well,
guess
the soundboard
today,
is a thing.
whenever the people see
Yeah.
it.
Cheers
So,
for Brayden.
Whoa.
cool.
Thanks,
How'd you do
guys.
that?
Well, we have a
Oh,
soundboard.
we should not be
Soundboard.
doing that.
We
We're gonna have a
soundboard this whole
soundboard.
We
time.
can add stuff to it though.
Oh!
No
Oh God! What
way.
did you
I
just
hope
open
that
up,
Craig
Hannah?
picks
Oh
this
God!
up.
Do y'all want me to program the soundboard tonight?
Please. Oh my
Please.
god.
Yes.
I can try to
yes,
I've
figure it
always
out,
wanted
yeah.
us to have stuff in there.
Brayden helps run the Discord, by
I
the way,
do.
for those
Yeah,
that
shout
don't
out
know.
Brayden.
Also, I think that people just heard me say Craig. Craig is the droid that helps us record the podcast.
Wait. Applause for
audio.
Craig. Applause for Craig.
So,
There you go.
applause for Craig. Thank you,
All right.
Craig. Very
Well,
cool.
anyways,
All right, well, Brayden, all of the links to Brayden's social media accounts will be down in the description below. Thank you again, Brayden, for joining us today.
No problem.
As always, you can find Hannah and Logan and my social media links down in the description below. If you would like to become a channel member, you can do that in the link down below. It's right next to the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this on YouTube or for listening to this on Spotify. We've had a really good turnout on Spotify so far,
go.
so it's been cool to know that people are listening on Spotify and tuning in there as well. So thank you guys so much for everybody who's already watched these or listened to these and is continuing to do so. I know it means the world to all of us. I guess to kind of leave you all with a question. What is your Star Wars hot take? I know that me saying that is going to attract probably some not great people.
That
That have
Okay.
listened to this entire
However,
podcast.
as long as we keep it respectful, we'll be pretty cool with it. But thank you guys so much for listening as always, and until the next episode, may the Force be with you.